searching out of your window. Giant eyes, never sleep unless your head's by mine. Holding on to what we call divine. Do you think we're running out of time? Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Daylight rushes in over your emerald eyes. Guess that means that we're all out of time. Like a dream, you only come out at night. Am I crazy? Watch the sun as it's fading. Can't believe I'm waiting around on you. So complicated. I thought that you would leave it, yet here we are under the moon. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side.
Hello, people! Hello, hello, hello! Welcome, welcome, one and all, to another installment of Touchline Talk with your boy, Nobbins. He's now got a functioning chat again this time. Not really sure what was happening last time, but it's all sorted now. Yeah, get the moon up! Get the moon up. In today's session, therapy session, etc., etc., as has been the case for a lot of this season, in fairness, we are going to be discussing many wonderful things, including but not limited to Nico Gonzalez, because I did say that we would do like a sort of like a stream dedicated to any questions about him, but I feel like maybe we can blend that in with the not a preview as such for the Real Madrid game, but certainly a general overarching discussion on how we think the game will go. You know, what are our reasonable expectations and hopes and desires in respect of the match tonight, because I don't really know what's going to happen tonight. That's why the title of the show is The Enigma, the Real Madrid Enigma. Enigma in terms of how we will set up, how they will set up, and what the ultimate outcome will be, and whether that even matters based on the fact that the second leg is at their ground. So we shall see what we see in that respect. As always, it's an interactive show, so please feel free to get your thoughts in the chat, and we'll be doing a back and forth situation. And maybe we should start with how we all think we should line up / set up against Madrid tonight, and then maybe pivot towards how we actually think Pep will do that, maybe based on, you know, who's available and how we also think Real Madrid will set up as well. Let me just catch up on the chat first of all, just to see who we've got in the House of Nob. Hello, Fireborn. Good evening. AU. Good to see you. Yes, AJ. Chuck hopes everything will be fine. Hello, Musty. KJ. Gibberish. KJ. Lots of whales there from Bajet. Hello, Ben. Itahi. Naveen says we're going to smash them, okay. Hello, Dave. KJ says Nico should not start. And hello, Iaro as well. And chat with the House of Nob. Bernardo definitely starting. We know Pep, says EA. I think the first thing to have a think about is how do we suppose Real Madrid are going to line up? I think that that should be our starting point, and then from there we can try to have a think about the best approach from a City perspective. So I don't like predictive work and analysis, but let's try to have a think about how we suppose Real Madrid will line up. Now, not thankfully, because it's not nice for anyone to be injured, but thankfully from a sporting context, Real Madrid, like City, are having a bit of an injury crisis. I'm just going to see if I can find an updated injury list. So for a fact, I think this is for both legs as well, there is no Rudiger. That's massive, as we'll get into. There's obviously no Carvajal or Militao because of the awful ACL situations there, so that's a massive loss for them. There's also no, again, I believe for both second legs, there is no Alaba. Neither is there a Lucas Vazquez. I know lots of people have been saying that's a W for Madrid, but it's still less of an option the City have to contend with. So it makes predicting their back four, you would guess, very predictable. There's obviously going to be Courtois in goal, but Valverde's by definition going to have to be the right back, it seems, who's obviously more of a midfielder or even an offensive player at times. That's an interesting area we could potentially target. We'll get into that. You'd suppose that Tchouaméni's going to have to start. Who's going to... I don't know. Asensio, is he going to be the other centre-back? Because, as I say, there is no Rudiger or Militao. And then I'd guess that Mendy would be the left-back. Because you are pushing Tchouaméni from midfield into defence, that therefore also limits the midfielders that they can pick. Again, I would suppose it's going to be Ceballos, Bellingham, Camavinga, but it's good to know that it's basically got to be that. And then the front three is obviously the terrifying front three that we know it's probably going to be Rodrigo, Mbappe, and Vinicius. That's no real surprise. Well, exactly, Jack. Exactly, because I actually don't know, given the injury situation. So, looking at the available options, again, it seems pretty predictive how they are going to set up. Let me know if I've missed any players there. I don't think I have. But in any event, whatever combination it is, in respect of the defence, it tells us that it's going to be one which is injury-ridden and isn't up to full standard that we would normally expect. The Rudiger one is massive, obviously, because Rudiger's had very good matches up against Haaland in recent seasons, I feel like. So that is very big. The midfield is the midfield, the attack is the attack. So I would suggest that I don't think Real Madrid will be looking to take the game to City in the same way that, PSG did, particularly in that second half when they went gung-ho and just absolutely tore us apart. I don't know if Real Madrid will be willing to do that, especially with the context of there is another game at their ground. So my prediction, I think everyone's general prediction, is that Real Madrid are going to be setting up very defensively and very conservatively and will be looking to just play on the counter-attack, and they will be more than happy with a draw because they will know that they can just do the business at their ground. MCFC Rebel, thank you for subscribing. So that would be my suggestion. So that's my starting point. Let me know if anyone thinks that Real Madrid, will look to take the game to City, will look to overwhelm us offensively. Let me know if anyone does think that with your explanation. But I think it's pretty safe to say that it's going to be Real Madrid looking to play counter-attacking football, and they're going to be looking to play defensively. I don't think that's a controversial conclusion. So if that is my starting point, how do I now set up my team to counter that? So let's have a think about what are the key principles of that way of play that Real Madrid are going to be deploying. One assumes, again, you guys are all saying counter-attack, I do totally agree, in terms of how they'll set up. Exactly, David, and that's very terrifying. So we know that Real Madrid are very good in terms of counter-attacking with pace, Vinicius, Mbappe, Rodrigo, Bellingham, etc. Now, whatever defence we put out, it is going to get overwhelmed by Real Madrid in transition. There is no way that we can even begin to combat that. Even if Nico Gonzalez is able to start, and we'll get into that in a moment, there is no way that we can possibly set up to properly counteract Real Madrid. We don't even have, Kyle Walker as a fast body anymore. There's no real way that we can circumvent that. So I'm of the view, and LB and I discussed this on LNobbins yesterday, that we essentially have to. I think if we want to qualify, we have to win tonight. I don't think that we win at the Bernabeu. I think that the best we can hope for is a draw. So I think we have to win tonight by at least a goal. Obviously, preferably 5. So therefore, we need to really be thinking about taking advantage of leaning into our attack and our attacking players. I think that's a reasonable conclusion. So how do we do that? What's the best way to do it? If our conclusion, or rather, if our starting point, is that Real Madrid are going to be very defensive, then that tells us at least 2 things. It tells us many things, but at least 2 from how we can set up offensively. It tells us that there is not going to be any space in the centre. It tells us that, realistically, the runs from players like Marmoush are going to be null and void to an extent. Because Marmoush is a player who doesn't have to rely on transitions and counterattacks, but he's certainly a player who is very reliant on running into space and taking advantage of space. It also tells us that there is going to be no room for manoeuvrability in the centre of the pitch. It's going to be very congested. Real Madrid are going to sit off, and they're not going to afford us that space in the centre. I imagine that in addition to being horizontally compact, they are also going to be vertically compact. So not too many gaps between the defence and the midfield, for example. Maybe they'll leave like a couple players up top to counter-attack, But in the main, I expect it to be very compact vertically as well. So that tells me that in the centre of the pitch, we are going to need some small space players rather than larger space players to an extent, certainly in the centre. It also tells us that if they are going to be vertically compact, and also, so we've touched on the vertical compactness, we need small space players there. Horizontal compactness, they are going to be very narrow. That tells us that there's going to be space out wide. Not only is there going to be potential space out wide, there's going to be potential 1v1 opportunities, or rather, the only way to break that down will be through 1v1 specialists. This, I believe, is a game tailor-made for Jeremy Doku. However, he has not played a minute of football since his injury, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to double check that. Let me double check that. When was the last time he played? The last time he played was against Ipswich nearly a month ago. That was the last time he played any football. And that was when he dropped his best performance as well. He's not played a minute since. Now, I don't even know if he is available. But even if he is available, he's back in training. Thank you, Musty. He clearly should not be starting. Because sadly, Doku is... This was one of my... Something that I raised in my Doku analysis video when he signed for us. He is a little bit injury prone. Now, I would be concerned that if we start him, he would just get injured again. So if he's available, I would love him to be on the bench. I don't think that he would be able to start. Yeah, he wasn't even on the bench against Leighton. Was in Miami. That's a massive shame because it would have been in the same way that we gave Diaz some minutes. It would have been great to have given him some minutes. Again, I think this game would be tailor-made for him, but I don't think we should risk starting him because he's not played any football in nearly a month. So if he can make the bench, if he can maybe get 15, 20 minutes, regardless of what the result is, I think he should come on. The only, as I say, tactically, I want him to start. I would love for him to start, but I don't think he should based on the injury, fitness, sharpness situation. Maybe the best situation is bring him on with 20-ish minutes to go. I don't know if it's worth risking him because what if we start him and he just gets injured again? You know, he can't play a whole half of football and then he's out of the second leg entirely and out for, you know, a number of more games in the Premier League as well. So again, I'm going to preface all of this by saying I would love Doku to start tactically. I just don't think it should happen logistically. That leaves us obviously in a very tricky situation because what I've just described there is a match tailor-made for Doku. So then now we need to be looking at in at least one wide player. Well, we need at least one 1v1 specialist out there. So Savio must start. He must start. Otherwise, we don't have any other true 1v1 wide threats, realistically. It's Savio and Doku. I probably would like both of them to start. You know, I'd have Savio on the right, I'd have Doku on the left. I don't think that's going to happen, sadly. I personally agree. I think Savio should go on the right. If you play Savio on the left, you are very reliant on his crossing ability because he can't really do too much else on that left side. Once again, I don't know if it's going to be a game for crossing like that. So I'm having Savio on the right. Yes. So how does the rest of the attack look? We need at least one small space player in the midfield, in my view, based on what I've talked about the vertical compactness. Now, there is no Oscar Bob, so that leaves us with only Foden. There is no other option there, quite frankly. There is no other player there who can do that. So Foden has to play in the middle. Otherwise, we are forfeiting the entirety of the centre. And there will be no player who can do anything within those tighter pockets of space. So for me, Foden must start in the centre. I think what I would like to see is essentially a total commitment to offense. Because I think the only way that we win this game, and as I say, I think we need to win it, I think the only way we win this match is by scoring a number of goals. Now, that doesn't mean that we, concede 12, but I think we have to really try to think about overwhelming them and making it, because we've got to bear in mind that of Real Madrid's biggest threat, if our starting point is that they're not going to care about having the ball that much, our starting point is that they're not going to be interested in attacking too much outside of counters. So the best way to do that is to pin them back as much as possible and to increase the distances between their attacking players and the rest of the team. Hopefully forcing the attacking players as far back as possible. Because if they're getting overwhelmed, then they'll go, right, I need you to come and help me out here. If like Mendy says to Vinicius or whatever, no, I need you to come back and help me out because Savio's cooking me here, as an example. So that's how I think we have to do it. We have to take that risk. I don't think we're going to win anyway, but if there is a slight chance of winning, then I think we have to do that and try to pin them back as much as possible, I think. And again, if their attacking players are deeper, it means it's more distance for them to travel, and it's easier for us to deal with them easier, obviously. I think whatever we do, they're going to have chances and they are going to score at least one goal tonight. I think that happens no matter what we do. That's why I started by saying, even if we played like, Nico and this brilliant rest defense, it's still the same end point for me. So my team is that I would go for, which is not what Pep's going to go for, because I don't think that Bernardo should start. I don't know if there's room for him personally. I know that's not realistic, and I know Bernardo is going to start tonight, and maybe that is the correct decision. My view is that we need to sort of try to overwhelm Real Madrid, and for my team to do that, there is no place for Bernardo personally. This would be my team. Again, I accept this isn't going to happen. Maybe after I've gone through my team, we'll have a think about what is the realistic team going to be. This is what I would do. This is assuming that Nico Gonzalez is able to start. If he isn't able to start, then I don't think we win tonight. Full stop. If he can start and if he's fit, I'm starting him. This is my team. Edison in goal. This is my back four. It's, in my view, the best back four that we can put out. And thankfully, these players are all fit and able to play. Guardiola. Diaz, thankfully got 45 minutes in against Leyton Orient. Stones, back from injury, and has played like the full game against Arsenal, didn't he? And Akanji. I'll get into why Akanji in a moment. The only other option realistically there would be Nunes, and I'll get into my system. My right back is not really pushing forwards anyway. He's staying at centre back. Get into why Kusanov at right back doesn't work in a moment. I did touch on it in my analysis video. So that's my back four. Now in possession, I'm doing a throwback. I'm doing Stones' system. Yeah? I'm doing treble winning system. So that turns into a back three. So you've got Guardiola, Diaz, Akanji. And then the front two ahead, Stones progressing, and Nico. Now, if Nico isn't available, then that scuppers this whole plan, and it becomes irrelevant, and I actually don't know what the answer is, because I don't think there's any way we can set up to get the win if Nico doesn't start, unless Real Madrid drop clangers. So, if he's not able to start, then I think we're fucked, quite frankly. But that's what I would do. Now, for me, that is our best defensive five that we could actually field at the club right now. Even if everyone was fully fit outside of Rodri. You've got a back three, which outside of Ake, that's how we won the treble, and Gvardiol's just replacing Ake. You've got Stones pushing up into the midfield. Now, and you've also got Nico there, who would be our best option. He's our best Rodri deputy, given who is at the club right now. Now, I appreciate that we lost this matchup last season at the Etihad on penalties. Rather, we got knocked out on penalties. The game was a draw. Now, I appreciate we got knocked out. But Pep set us up that day in the exact same way. And I'm sorry, but it worked. It worked. And we should have won that game. Sadly, obviously, Akanji is not John Stones. But, and there was a lot of criticism about the decision to play Akanji as the John Stones in that game, which I understood to an extent, because obviously Akanji's not Stones. But the fact of the matter is, Akanji should have got the match-winning assist. Because Akanji's positioning, I don't know if you guys remember, I think he appeared as a floater in the left centre of the box, out of nowhere, and he played it to De Bruyne on a plate, and he skied it over. And that was when it was 1-1. And we should have won the match based on that goal. So it fundamentally worked for me. So I'm running that back, and I'm playing the exact same way out of possession and in possession. I think that can work. Evidence tells us last season it did. And if you've got Stones and Akanji picking up those positions, it's even better. So, yes, Alvarez as well missed one, absolutely, I mean. So that's how I'm doing it. I think that 3-2, if it's available, is our best bet from a defensive perspective. No matter what we do, it's not going to be good enough, but I think our best bet are those 5 players. This makes the front five, in my view, because we've got that solid-ish defensive five, I think that means you can afford to play a more front-facing and aggressive forward five. And again, the idea is we want to do that anyway to overwhelm them. So this is my team. I'm having Savio, and this is the front five now. So obviously Haaland's up top. I'm having Savio on the right. I'm having Foden at right central midfield. And Savio's going to have to be making... If there is space to run in behind, Savio's going to be making those runs. Like, do you remember that ball that Foden did against Arsenal? Broke the lines, but it was to Nunes. I need a right winger there. That's why Savio's got to play there. And again, we need Foden in the middle from a small space perspective. De Bruyne obviously needs to play because he's Kevin De Bruyne. Now, I would start Marmoush. I'm not starting him out and out at left wing. But what I'm proposing that happens with Marmoush is I want him to do what Doku did in the first game of the season against Chelsea, when we had De Bruyne often technically playing in midfield, but often pushing over to left back and left wing, receiving the ball with plenty of time outside of the block, and then that allows Marmoush to start from the left, but then go inside, more central, in the areas that he's able to occupy and wants to occupy. So Marmoush is playing like Doku in that sense, positionally. That's what I would do. I think that gets our best offensive players all on the pitch, and it also works as well. Now again, that's very attacking and very offensive, but my starting point is that we have to score a lot of goals tonight or we aren't going to win the game. And I think that our starting point must be that we need to try to overwhelm Real Madrid's defence. So that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Marmoush, so again, Razor, it's back to how we set up at the start of the season. Technically, Marmoush is at left wing, technically, but there is plenty of rotation between him and De Bruyne. It's all about rotation. You could even have it so that De Bruyne rotates with Foden as well. Like, De Bruyne doesn't need to be in a set position. He can float. That's absolutely fine, as he has done in the past. So that's how I would do it, personally. Again, I accept that is very attacking, and I accept that it will leave us exposed in a way, but every single team we put out is going to be exposed. So I don't know if there is a, quote, correct answer here. The issue with that, obviously, is that it's going to make us defensively weak out of possession. But here's the thing. Again, going back to the Etihad game last season, we set up with a midfield of Rodri and Foden in the centre. In a 4-4-2, out of possession. It was only one of like 4 games that Foden played out of possession last season. And it worked, quite frankly, you know? So I'm happy to do it again. That's what I would do. That's not going to happen because Bernardo's going to play. So I'm going to predict De Bruyne won't start because I feel like Pep would probably want to use him more as an impact player. That's going to be my guess. That's not something I want to happen. That's my prediction. Bernardo didn't play against Leighton, did he? Leighton Orient. Neither did Foden or Kevin. They had to come on. So that tells me that Bernardo's definitely going to start. At least one of Foden or De Bruyne is going to start. I would guess that Foden will start. De Bruyne will come on at some point. I'm not saying that that is correct. I'm saying that that is what I would do personally. I had a line that's out, I wish. I've done a lot of talking there. Mo, I'll repeat. We did it last season and it worked perfectly fine. It doesn't matter what we do. You can say not defensively solid. Name me the player who is defensively solid. It's because it ain't Bernardo and it ain't Kova and it ain't Gundogan. This is the thing. It doesn't matter. Because I don't know if you were here at the start of the show. The starting point is that we are going to be weak defensively no matter what. No matter what we do. we will be weak defensively. We need to focus on leaning into the attack. That's what I would do. Let me catch up on the chat, because again, I've been doing a lot of talking there. Nunes. What about Nunes? You can't play Kevin in that system. You can only play it in a deeper playmaking role. But he did that at the start of the season, Charlie. So unless you think that De Bruyne has lost his legs from August, then evidence tells us he literally can do that. Their defense is worse than last season. Again, another reason why we need to lean into our attack and try to overwhelm them. What about a pivot of Kova and Nico Gonzalez? That would be the more defensively safe option for sure, definitely. But if you do that, you are sacrificing an attacking player. That's the only thing there. Real Madrid's right-hand side is a disaster. Federico will play right back, and Kova will have Rodrigo. And that's the other thing about the system that I've suggested there. If you've got Marmoush and Kevin, and also you've got Guardiola at left centre-back who will be pushing up, you can do a whole lot of overloading on that left side. So not only does that mean that we can hopefully exploit their right side, but it also means that they are going to have to commit bodies over there as a consequence. What does that mean from our perspective? There's going to be a 1v1 situation for Savio out on that right side. So that's the other thing for me. Even if having Marmoush and Kevin over there is simply a decoy to force Real Madrid players over to then afford Savio a 1v1 opportunity. You know, you force everyone over, you give the ball to Nico Gonzalez, switch to the right side, suddenly Savio's 1v1 against Mendy and he's running at the defence. That might be a nice time had by all. I don't even know what that means, bruv. Any update on Doku's injury? No, not that I'm aware of. Ancelotti has tried Mendy at right back and Garcia at left back to face City, reveals Cope. Valverde would be in midfield. We shall see. That'd be a bit of a risk. We shall see, though. We shall see. So to put Valverde in midfield, that means that one of Bellingham, Camavinga, Ceballos is going to get benched, right? Slap him on the wing, shush. Can Kusanov play as a fullback? Right, yeah. No, he can't. So let's address this. Yeah. Kusanov at right back would be a disaster, in my opinion. If you've not watched my Kusanov analysis video yet, you should have done, you fraudsters. Go watch after this stream. One of the points that I touch on, and again, lots of people have been suggesting Kusanov at right back. The fundamental issue with Kusanov at right back and the whole premise around this is that people are conflating speed in a straight line with speed as a fullback. It is very, very different. It's lovely that Kusanov can run quickly as the crow flies, but that is so not the same as being able to manipulate your body as a fullback. So, for me, Vinicius would absolutely destroy him, and I don't know if it's even fair to throw him in, given that he's only played like a few games for us, and two of them have been like, you know, did he play against Arsenal? Did he come on? I don't think he did. You know, one of them was against Chelsea, so I don't think it would make sense. If you're playing Kusanov, you play him instead of Diaz or Stones. You certainly do not play him at right back instead of Akanji or whoever it is you want at right back. Luke, hopefully I've addressed that Kusanov thing. He would be absolutely crap at right back because he's never played right back before. I don't know why we would be throwing him in his first game at right back against one of the best left wingers in the world, and given it doesn't even match his skill set. We're going to have to, Mo. That's the thing. We're going to try to have to. Is Nico fit? I have no idea. No idea. If he's not, then my whole plan is down the drain. The counter-attack is more lethal indeed. Indeed. If Nunes plays right back, so it'll be 3-0 at half-time. Hoodie Dax, just don't spam, please. No spamming in the chat. Thank you very much. You said Kusanov can't defend out wide. Is that based off what you've seen of Kusanov yourself or what others have said? What the stats say? It's based on what I've said and seen. Yes. It doesn't matter what we do. Every side's going to be exposed for counters. Again, I think we need to stop thinking about, but if we do this, then we'll be weak on the counter. We are weak on the counter no matter what we do. There is no team that we can put out which won't be weak on the counter. So I think we've got to try to avoid that being our starting point. For me. I'd play Savio and Marmoush over Foden. Love Foden, but he's not having the best season that we need reliable performance tonight. But then, Dylan, who's your small space player going to be? Because Savio needs to play out wide and Marmoush has not got a good enough first touch. That's the thing. That's the thing. Also, Foden's in great form, so if we're doing the best season discussion, he's been in fantastic form this year. Why can't Pep just play park the bus? Okay, let's assume we do that, and let's assume we get 0-0. Do you reckon that we can win at the Bernabeu? Because I'm not being funny. We can't, in my view, bar a miracle. Also, we don't have the players to do it. Mendy right back, we'd feast. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? How do we deal with Mbappe? Realistically, you can't. We haven't even really discussed on, like, you know, how City defensively. There is no way to try to lock him up. You've just got to try to force him into wider zones and hope for the best and hope that Ruben Diaz has a wonderful box defending game. It's Real Madrid's attackers are too good to think about how do we take this guy out 1v1 or whatever. I don't think there is a solution. The solution is to get Walker from a few years ago, to be honest with you. That would be perfect. Obviously, you know, unless someone's got time travel, it's not an issue. I do not want Kusanov to play, even though I like him a lot. Again, if you think Kusanov can play fullback, I don't know what Kusanov you've been watching. I don't think he's ever played fullback for Lon. He's certainly never played it for City. Go watch Kusanov get spun by Hakimi. Yeah, exactly. Does not have the agility. No shot, sadly. I would love him, and maybe he could do that in the future, but right now, no shot, no way. And anyone suggesting he can play it right back, bar me being absolutely wrong on this, everything that his entire footballing catalogue at the senior level, none of it is demonstrative of a player who can play it right back. There is no... He simply does not have the physical profile for it or the skill set or attributes for it. So if he did play it right back, and if it did do well, then it would be a random outlier because it has never happened before. So it would be something that no one could possibly predict if it did indeed happen. But based on what we know, it has never happened, nor should it happen. Akanji is playing right back, Nick, in my system. Yes, he is. Haaland as a centre-back, brilliant. McAtee, no. Nico was training yesterday, indeed. Hopefully that's good and lovely. How do we do Mbappe? Yeah, we can't. Is Edison available? I hope so. What's my lineup if we have 21 Kyle Walker? Just swap out Akanji for Walker. But when Lon played against Arsenal, that's where he played at right back. Well, first of all, I don't even know if that's true. Secondly, I don't even think he started, did he? Didn't he come on in like the last 5-10 minutes? Am I being stupid? I don't think I am. Either way, he should not be playing at right back. How's he with Mbappe? Pray? Yeah, probably. That's the other thing as well, and that's the other thing about playing, making sure that we field technical players, certainly in the middle as well, and preferably out wide. I don't know the exact players who are on bookings. I don't know the exact players who are on bookings, but I think it's a lot for Real Madrid. Can someone pop it in the chat for me, please? I think, off the top of my head, I think it's Bellingham. And I think it's Tchouaméni. But I don't know anything outside of that. Can someone please confirm that for me? Because that might also inform how I set up. I think it's at least 3 or 4. I've only got 2 there. I'm pretty sure it's a fair few, though. Let me know if you could, please. Does he actually? That would be quite funny. What is his pace on FIFA? I don't know. Lawn lost to Arsenal 5-0. South came off the bench. The game was over at that point. Yeah, I don't know if that's the example. Hello, Staffy. How you doing, mate? Bellingham's... Has anyone got the full list? Thank you, True City fan, for your super chat, mate. I'll get to that in a moment. Has anyone got the full list, please? Is this the full list? Thank you, Blair. Bellingham, Germany, Camavinga. Oh, Modric, Hendrick. I don't really care about those two. Right, okay. The Camavinga one is massive. I think he's my favorite Real Madrid player, to be honest with you. Right, so that is big. That is big because Camavinga is going to obviously be playing in a deeper midfield position as well. So that has absolutely confirmed I need a small space player in that midfield to try to pin himself on that player and try to spin and try to get booked. Try to turn and get booked. I'm looking at Foden to go down very easily tonight. That's what I'm looking at. And a similar thing with Tchouaméni, you know, if Marmoush can make a run off him or Haaland can make a run off him and like force a pullback, you know, then that's what we should be aiming for. Bellingham seems quite easy to wind up as well. Maybe we can do that. That's big. Big up to you, True City fan. We've got a fortune for you as well, matey. Fortune for True City fan. If you wish to know the mind of a man, listen to his words. I don't think that's particularly good fortune because they could just be lying. You know, actions speak louder than words and all that. So, not good fortune, but there we go. So, sorry about that, mate. Is Nico really ready to play as a lone 6? Absolutely not. No. I mean, nor will he ever be, in my view. Will he be better than Kovacic as a lone 6? Yes, but he'll never be a lone 6 long term for me. Big up to you, Kieran. Valverde's your favourite Madrid player? Yeah, that's fair. I just like Camavinga a lot. I think he's very good. Yes, so there are, and this is the thing. It's not about cheating. It's not about cheating because we don't want to cheat, but it is about, you know, if Bellingham does leave a foot in, and let's say it's the second time it's happened, just remind him. Just go, you know, ref, that's the second one. You know, in theory, one more, that should be a yellow card. Totting up process. We might need to rely on that. I would love to see it if we could indeed rely on that. By the way, for some reason we have got, I mean, brilliant. We've got over 500 people watching on a random Tuesday afternoon. We've only got 120 likes. What's going on? I want at least 250. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, guys. Exactly. Work smarter, not harder. 100%. 100%. Needs to give Arteta a call, yeah. So that is why, again, just to reiterate, I want to see. It's a shame that Mendy's not on the yellow card because that would be quite big, or whoever their left back's going to be, that would be quite big. I want to see my wide players, particularly Savio, going 1v1. I want to see my small space operators in the centre, whether that's Foden, Bernardo, whoever. I want to see them being a little bit naughty, trying to turn and spin, trying to get away from the opponent, trying to force a drag in around the halfway line, whatever, and remind the referee. Yeah, I want to see those yellow cards. And you can say City shouldn't be relying on that, but look at where we are this season, guys. We need to be relying on every single little baby thing that we can. I'm not going to the game today, and my season ticket's only for Premier League home games, so there will be a watch-along tonight, around 15 minutes before kickoff. Make sure to tune in for that. So that's how I would set up. That's how I would set up. Now, we aren't going to set up like that entirely, but I think the fundamental principles still needs to be there. I think that checklist needs to be there. You need to have as solid a rest defence as you can. For me, that does involve Nico Gonzalez starting, if possible. We need at least one, preferably two, if we can, small space operators in the pockets who have a fantastic first touch. For me, that's Foden. But whoever we have there, and to be fair, now with Oscar Bob injured, we don't really have anyone else other than Foden who can do that. And I guess McAtee, he's not going to start though, is he? So For me, you need one of McAtee, Foden, or Bob to start, and that's is no debate there for me. You need Savio to start because we need at least one wide 1v1 threat. You need De Bruyne to start because he's Kevin De Bruyne, and obviously you need Haaland to start because he's Haaland. So whatever combination you have there, those are the sort of parameters that we need to be thinking about. Marmoush is not that player, sadly. Risk. His first touch is not good enough. Yet. Right now, his first touch nowhere near good enough. He's fine in the pockets. He's not amazing there, though. Too often, he gives it away. But that being said, he's not terrible at it. That's why, for my system, I would have them both technically in the middle. Marmoush starting on the left, drifting to the centre. De Bruyne rotating. I think, for me, that makes the most sense. Why am I not on the cup scheme? It's just too expensive, mate. That's why. It's just too expensive. I was on the cup scheme, you know, like before I got a mortgage. But, you know, life happens. And also, I do like streaming the cup games as well. Like, it's a nice breather, because I don't normally get to stream the Premier League home games, so it's a nice change of pace. He does go, yeah, he has dived at least once for City, and I'm not a fan of that. And I'm not saying I want him to dive, but I would encourage him. I would encourage him to invite the referee to end at a certain conclusion in respect of getting fouled. My nan is on the cup scheme. My nan goes to the away, nearly every single away game, Musty. You know, that pension money's doing bits for her. You know, she went to Leyton Orient. She went to Arsenal. She goes to nearly, basically, I think the only one she doesn't go to nowadays is Old Trafford, partly because it's a shithole, but also because like she just hates the United fans because they get very aggressive and they throw shit and they spit. So that's the only one. That's the only away game she doesn't go to. She also doesn't go to. She doesn't travel abroad because she can't really. But outside of that, yeah, she does that. Shut up. Yes, Naveen. Oh yeah, goes to every single Etihad game, and she goes to every single game she can apart from Old Trafford and abroad games essentially. Cosmic says I earn very good money. Ooh, subtle brag there. Have no kids and the tickets are still high for me. Yeah, absolutely. Can she play TM? How did my I should have asked her about the tactical setup there. I've already done my predicted lineup, Roham. I've already done my predicted lineup. But shall we now think about what shall we ever think about now? I've done my lineup. What else do we want to cover in this stream, guys? We've covered how we think Real Madrid will set up. That has informed how we think we should set up. Whatever your team is, I think we can all agree there needs to be at least one pocket player, at least, preferably two, who are able to deal with that vertical compactness situation. There also needs to be at least one 1v1 player out wide, because they're going to be horizontally compact. We need to have at least one player who's great 1v1. For me, we also need to have a system which allows De Bruyne to operate outside of the block. That's what my system would do. And preferably, we also need a system which is as stable as it can be from a rest defense perspective. For me, that covers everything. I don't think you can pick a better side personally. That's not going to be the case, obviously. The way that he's been speaking about Marmoush suggests that he will be starting Marmoush. I actually think that... What do I think? I'm going to do what I think Pep will do. I don't think he's going to start Kevin. I don't know why I think that. I just do, because he didn't start him against Chelsea, and he didn't start him against Arsenal. So I wonder if he's going to bring him on. So my prediction is he won't start Kevin. I think that's a mistake, but that's my suggestion. In which case, I think he's going to go... I think he'll play Guardiola Edison. I think he'll go Guardiola, Diaz, because that was an intentional thing to take him off at halftime. So I think it'll be Diaz. I do think he'll start Stones, and I think he'll start Akanji. I think that our back fours will be the same, based on what people are saying about Nico. He's apparently was training with discomfort. So I don't think Nico will start, sadly. I think if he's available, he should start. But if he can't start, then he can't start. In which case, I think it'll be Kova and Bernardo. Yeah. Yeah. Guardiola is going to push up. Yeah, that will happen, won't it? Twan. Guardiola will... I should probably get my tactics board out, shouldn't I? Because this is... I always struggle to visualize this without the board. I struggle in my head. How would that work? No, back three of Stones, Diaz, Akanji, I suppose. It's not ideal, but based on that setup. Kova in the quote 6. You'd have Guardiola and Bernardo making up the diamond. No, that doesn't work, does it? I think I need my tactics board. One sec, guys. 1 second. Let me see if I can figure this out. Let me just go to the board as well so you guys can see what I mean. Right. Apologies. I'm going to try to do this now. So this is what I think Pep will do. Again, I'm trying to visualize it in my brain. Let me get all these just players onto the bench for a moment. Holland's going to start, obviously. I think he'll start Foden. I think he'll start Savio. Let's get my defense locked in. I think he'll play Guardiola. Don't know where yet, though. Diaz. I do think Akanji will play. Where is Manu? There he is. And... Actually, no. I think he'll play Ake. I don't know where Ake is. I've not got him on this team for some reason. Pretend that Stones is Ake, yeah? I haven't got Stones here. Brilliant. Pretend that Hayes is Ake. This is Ake. Okay? Don't worry about it. The reason why I think that is because I think that he's going to use Guardiola differently to how I would use him. Therefore, you can't have Diaz out at left centre-back because that's a recipe for disaster. So I think that it'll be Ake there. So the back four is Guardiola, Ake, Diaz, Akanji. That's my prediction, okay? Kova is going to play. I don't know if... Oh, Kovacic is there. There we go. Kova will play. And I think that Bernardo will drop deep, actually. I've changed my mind there. Oh, yeah, Ake's injured. Yeah, sorry, guys. Ake's injured. My bad. Yeah, my brain's having a fart. Right, okay, it won't be that. Okay, it'll pretend that's Stones then. Whatever. My bad. My brain did a fart. Pretend that's Stones then. I think that he will play, definitely... Yeah, Kova and Bernardo will both start, won't they? 100%. The question just becomes, how is he going to utilise Guardiola? Is he going to play him more centrally, or is he just going to pop him out there? I'm going to predict it'll be that, in which case it'll be Marmoush technically there, Haaland there, Phil there, Savio there. 3-2-2-3, 3-2-5. JSP, Daniel, mate. That is my prediction of how Pep will set up. It isn't a terrible team, of course. Of course not. It's not what I would do, but I think this is what Pep will do. Guardiola starting at left back, pushing up to left wing, creating an overload on that left side, allowing Marmoush to become more of a central player. And I think that he will want the security of having both Kova and Bernardo dropping deep to try to overload the centre and to try to help build up. Now, again, I'm going to repeat, this ain't what I would do. I don't agree. I think this is what Pep will do. No, Hayes is not Hayes. Hayes is Ake/Stones. In fact, yeah, let's put Kusanov there. Again, I don't think we'll start Kusanov. That's a placeholder for Stones/Ake. I'm going to reiterate. I don't think this is what we should do, but I think this is what Pep will do. That's my prediction. Does anyone think Pep's going to do something different? Let me know. Let me know. Again, I'm not thinking about what's optimal. I'm thinking about what is Pep going to do. I think he'll want to bring on Kevin as an option. He's obviously going to want to start Bernardo. If Nico's not available, then Kovacic is going to have to start. It's not ideal, but I think that is what will happen ultimately. The dynamics of Savio and Foden will be fine. That's great. The dynamics, I mean, anyone with Guardiola is great. But, you know, the dynamics of Guardiola, Marmoush is fine. As always, the biggest issue with this team is going to be Kova will not be playing those. Kova will not be finding Foden in the pockets. Bernardo will not be finding Marmoush in the pockets, or indeed the runs of Marmoush, or indeed Kova the runs of Haaland. That is going to be the concern. It does not matter how good the front five is or the front six is if the defenders/defensive unit can't find them. Do you get what I mean? Risky. We've played three at the back for many years. This is in possession, if that wasn't clear enough. Aisha says that's why Stones needs to invert if Nico is not playing. Hey, Aisha, you're preaching to the converted. I'd love Stones to do the Stones role. B says Kovacic plays equals City lose. Exactly, Ichigoat. Exactly. I just wonder whether he's going to be actually able to start. In fairness, we can make that team, or rather what we think Pep's going to do, that does immediately improve it. Although you would probably want Nico out on that left side. But then you probably want Bernardo on the left because of his left foot. That's why it's not really ideal for Bernardo to start for me. Who knows? Pep will probably do something mentally different to what I've predicted him to do here. Mentally different. Do Stones inverting team? Okay, I'll show you my team then. This is what my team would look like visually. Again, you got to pretend that Kusanov is Stones. Don't worry about it. Allow it. Allow it. That allows Nico to play in his more traditional left side of the pivot role as well. And again, this area, rotations. Yeah? Don't worry about Marmoush being on the left. He's not a touchline winger in my team. He's a rotator. Yeah? He's a rotator. De Bruyne drops if possible. Bosh. If that space is there to be exploited. I said, pretend this is Stones. Pretend this is Stones. A jab juicing him up? I hope so. Inverting never works in this modern age. Ian? We invert every single game and have done basically since Pep became manager. If Foden and Haaland step up, we'll win 10-0. Yeah, big up, exactly. They are, James, that we've registered them. It's just Jesus not registered. Again, Sean, my prediction was that Pep won't start him. Who you got watching Vinny? I mean, Akanji's my right back, if that's what you mean. Doesn't matter who watches Vinny, ain't no one gonna do that. Why would you want your central player to dribble in the centre when it's incredibly high risk and we're going to turn the ball over That would be mental. No. I want my wide players to dribble. I don't want my central players to dribble against fucking Camavinga and Bellingham. That would be suicidal. What a beautiful team. Yeah, big up, Ayushi. That's why you're a great person. Rotation is my favourite football buzzword. It's a good word, though, isn't it? It's all about fluidity, to be fair. Again, Chelsea game is the perfect example. Technically, you had Doku starting out on the left, but then KDB would go over here. Marmoush would go centrally. Bish, bash, bosh. Kanji for Kusanov. No, it's not. It's not Kusanov. This is Stones, guys. Pretend it's a seed, okay? Let me know if you know what film that's from. Pretend it's a seed, okay? Yeah, exactly, Spartacus. I think Doku's injured, mate, sadly. Nick. Oh my god. We need both Guardiola and Marmoush getting at the fullbacks for Natamitsis Ian. Again, the good thing is that if you've got Guardiola out at left centre-back, he has got the potential to do his thing and overlap/underlap. That is the beauty of it. If Doku's available as an impact, I agree. No, guys, again, pretend Kusanov is a seed, okay? Pretend he's a seed. That's from A Bug's Life, in case anyone didn't know. You've got to pretend that Kusanov is Stones. Please. And actually, no, you guys have done it. You guys have actually done it. You know what? Fine. I'm caving. I will add Stones in right now because imagination is not a word that is allowed on this stream, as it turns out. So here we go. Right? We don't need to pretend anymore. He's actually there. Okay? Now please stop shouting at me. Thank you. Before anyone else asks. Is Grealish a no-go? Yeah, I don't know why he'd start. I've heard Valverde plays in midfield, Mendy to play at left back. My guess is he plays right back. Kusanov is never starting. I agree. Easy bait. I hate all of you so much. I hate all of you. So KDB playing left back will win the treble. Oh, right. That's what I would do. Yeah? That's what I would do. I'm going to just repeat one more time. Why would I do this? In the first instance, I don't think anyone can argue. Again, once again, guys, this is in possession. Can anyone think of a superior defensive five to this? Because I can't. The only way that this could be even more solid is if Rodri were fit. And he ain't. So for me, there is no better defensive five here. Yeah? There's no better defensive five. Citizen, I hate you so much. I'm now confused. Okay, why are you confused? What's going on? Maldini. Okay, of the players we have available. Okay, chill. This for me is the best one we can muster. I'm not doing a 3-1 build. You all can hold that if you think I'm doing a 3-1. Stones is Stones, Jack, you swine. This is our best defensive setup for me. 5 hours until kickoff. Crazy. Again, if they're available. If they aren't available, then it's a thing. Again, I don't want a 3-1. A 3-1 is crazy. This now gets us into our attacking five. This attacking five has small space operators in tight pockets. It has 1v1 dribbling threats out wide. It has the potential for runs in behind if the space is available to do it. Or even just the movement to try to push them back a little bit. And it has the potential to get our best player, De Bruyne, into positions outside of an opponent's block and work beyond it. Ibrahim, don't worry, mate. Marmoush isn't on the wing. He's not on the wing. He's nominally on the wing. Oh, gosh. But he's rotating. So there'll be plenty of opportunity to drift into central zones. Likewise, there will also be license for Guardiola to push up at times, provide the width here as an overlapping option. This allows Marmoush to not have to play as a touchline winger and can go centrally. There are a multitude of ways in which that can happen. Doku, my starting point for Doku is he's not available. My starting point for Doku is he's not available. If he is available, then that'd be great. But he's not. So I can't do that. Again, I would start Doku. I would figure out a way to get Doku in here because I think he would be our best option. Alas, he's not available. Again, I know this isn't going to happen because I know Bernardo's going to start. I just don't think Bernardo deserves to start, and I don't think that it makes sense. I would love it if he starts and plays brilliantly well, of course, because I love Bernardo. I just don't think that his skill set is what this team needs right now, personally. But there we go. Nico is injured, says Crazy Dragon. Until I hear that confirmed in absolute terms, I'm having Nico in there. What happened? This isn't an app. Quite a pacey attack. Hope they don't play two of a low block. Well, the good thing is, Dave, that they've got both. They've got both. It's got the option for if there is spacing behind, but it's also got just like 1v1 players in Savio who can deal with it either way. It's also got Foden who can play in those tighter spaces. Bernardo Alderbrun needs to start for leadership in attacks as usually. I've got Kevin. I've got Kevin. The safer bet is obviously to not play that front five. But going back to the top of the show, we need to try to outscore them. If Nico isn't available, who would you use? Well, that probably scuppers my whole plan, to be honest with you. The only other option then is to play Cover, isn't it? That's the only other option. That's not ideal at all. It's better than nothing, though. It's better than anything else. I wouldn't be willing to make any other changes, though. I've got a blue glow. Damn right. Give me Nico, Rico. Bernardo right wing, Savio cooking the right side of Madrid. I think Bernardo's time as a winger is done. Can we offside trap? We're going to try to have to, Yaro, I assume. Yeah. And let's be realistic. Bernardo should not be taking the place of either Foden or Kevin. That should never be happening. If Bernardo is going to play, it's going to be in a deeper midfield position. I'm not even going to entertain a debate about Bernardo starting in a more advanced area. So if you've got Bernardo starting, then it's going to have to be deeper, and that introduces a load of problems. Because if you do that, then all of a sudden this team turns to absolute dog shit. And you've got to reorder everything. So there we go. Yeah, crazy. I've got no back. Axel, I hate you. Put Guardiola up top and we're going to win 5-0. Yeah, guys, let's drop Haaland, actually, to be fair. Yeah. Big up. Let's play Haaland as a left centre-back. Oh dear. I think if you really wanted to get Bernardo into this team, and let's say that we're starting Cover, what would be the best way to do it? Actually, no, I don't even know. I don't even want to entertain that because that'll just depress me. That would just depress me. Oh dear. That's what I think we should do. That's what I would do. What are our score predictions for tonight? Everyone. What do we think? I think that if we play my team, or, you know, a team in a similar mold, I think that we can win the game. I don't think we can win it by more than one goal. I reckon we can win the game 2-1. Yeah? I reckon we could do that. If we play how I think that we are going to play, then I think that we probably draw, to be honest with you. At the best. And in fact, if I'm being very realistic, I think we probably lose 2-1. I don't think either side keeps a clean sheet. So my optimistic prediction is 2-1. I think that probably more realistic is going to be a draw. But if the worst case happens and we play the team that I suspect we're going to play, I think my genuine prediction is going to be 2-1 to Madrid. I don't want to predict that. But if with Nico out, in fact, if Nico doesn't start, I'm so confident we don't win. The best I can predict is a draw. And I don't think we'll win at the Bernabeu. So overall, it's going to be that. Oh well. Why didn't we sign LeBron James? Great question. City 1, Madrid 6, Jesus. See, here's the thing. I'm not even worried about the game because for me, this is like a free hit. I think we're going to lose the leg, the tie, sorry, over 2 legs. So I'm pretty chill about tonight, you know. Obviously, I want us to win and I'll celebrate if we do. But if we get knocked out, I'm not going to be like devastated, you get me? Because this is a weird season where, come on, guys, we know we're not going to win the Champions League. We know we're not good enough to win it. So I'm not overly arsed if we get knocked out. I'll also be a bit disappointed, but it's not going to be like previous years getting knocked out where I'm properly gutted. I'm going to be like, it was sort of what we were expecting, you get me? There's lots of predictions here. A lot of people actually predicting us to win, and I love that. Look at that, 4-2. That'll be fun. Big up. I just need us not to lose at home. We're now 35 games unbeaten. Oh, is that the European record? Yeah, we need to get that. I want to erase the season from memory. Can you imagine if we do somehow win a trophy this season? Crazy. Crazy. TalkSport are mental, clearly, Sean. If that's what they're saying, they're insane. It always like makes me laugh when people say, you know, when we went through that really bad run and people went, if it was any other manager, then they would get sacked on the spot. It's like, right, but this is Pep, not any other manager. That's sort of the point. You get me? So yeah, very odd. People are odd though, aren't they? People are odd. Love that from you, Jackson. Love that from you. I'm going to make an LNobbins shirt. I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to have it for me. Yeah? So maybe like in a couple of weeks I'll be rocking my LNobbins shirt and LB will be like, what are you doing? What are you doing, you little weirdo? And then I'll like stalk him and come to his house or whatever and like be like, do you want to play? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm overtired, clearly. Can't we play like Barca? No. Just want it to be... That's... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That would be so fun, wouldn't it? A nice, fun, thrilling... And I know that the Brentford game didn't end how... it didn't end how it should have done. I don't care. I enjoyed that game. I really enjoyed that game. I don't really care. That was a really fun time. Hopefully it doesn't end like that, but you get me. Don't worry about it, guys. It's chill. It's chill. I yap, absolutely. It's fun. To be fair, Stephen, I never found it. I never had it. I never had something to lose. Stop mentioning TalkSport. Chats must bring a show out there. I don't listen to it, to be fair. Let's win this game for freedom. Why sound like Sean Connery? I do a good Sean Connery, to be fair. That's the only impression I can do. Pep on the field in the DM. We want merch. Hey, if you like it, then maybe I'll make it available, but I'm basically just making it for myself because I'm a little weirdo. Who would be an ideal realistic replacement for Pep? I don't know, Frisher, because I don't know what the landscape's going to be. Bold arc incoming. Only when super chats happen, to be fair, KJ. Enjoying a 5-1 to V. Okay, yeah, okay. It's got to be a tight affair as well. If we get battered, then I'm not going to enjoy it. Like, I didn't enjoy the PSG game, of course. But, you know. City should try to get at least 2-goal leads. I think, if we are being honest with ourselves, I really think that if we want to have a hope of going through and outright, rather than going through on penalties, I think we have to win by 2 goals. I do agree with that tonight. I don't think we're going to win by 2 goals, but I do fundamentally agree that if we want to win the game outright, win the tie outright, we do have to score a couple. Is that going to happen? I don't know. Well, no, I do know. I don't think it will. I'll be live for like another 5 to 10 minutes. Do we have any final questions, final thoughts? I will be live tonight for the watch-along. So if you guys would like to join, you're more than welcome to. I don't suffer fools gladly in my live chats for watch-alongs or in general. So that's just an FYI. It's a bit more... what's the term? There's more accountability. Let's put it that way. That's the term I'm after. I am doing a watch-along scorp, yes. Minimum a draw. Yeah, look, if we draw, it's not over, is it? It's not over if we draw. I just don't think we beat them at the Bernabeu. But if it's a draw, it's not over. Yeah, I am doing a watch-along. 2-goal buffer with a Marmouche brace. Should be 3 goals. Yeah, hey, it should be 12, shouldn't it? It should be 12. Can't you just start to right back? Yes, for me. Do I like Peppa Pig? No, don't really watch it, to be honest, mate. Can Nico O'Reilly make it at City, asks Jaden. I'd like to think so. He's certainly got the physical profile for it. For being a useful player for us. It's probably too early to tell, though. I get very emotional at times. Hey, football's an emotional sport, and it's all about accountability, Dave, yeah? If people want to say dumb shit, I'll be calling them out for it. You get me? You can't come in my chat and just say dumb shit and not get challenged. Marmish scores and wears his mask. That would be hype. To be fair, that would be hype. So he's to come clutch. Rodrigo will start as a sub, but once he comes to the pitch, he will score 2 own goals to protest against Ancelotti. Nice. After sleeping on it, I'd play Grealish and Bernardo wide. De Bruyne, Foden behind, Nico alongside Stones. Keep the ball in their third and away from their front 4. So you're all about ball retention. Yeah, I just don't know if that's going to be enough to just retain it. I think we've got to retain it and have threat, you get me? Thoughts on McAtee? Oh, that was another thing we didn't even mention. If there's going to be, if we're going to be, pinning them back and forcing them back, that means there's in theory going to be space on the edge of the box for our players to be taking shots. So I need my long shot specialists on the pitch. I need Foden on the pitch. I need De Bruyne on the pitch. I need Guardiola on the pitch. Preferably, I'd have Rodri on the pitch. The issue with McAtee is that he's just behind so many players already. Like, he's obviously already behind Foden. He's behind De Bruyne. When Bob comes back, he'll be behind Bob. When Echeverry comes into the side, he'll be behind Echeverry. So the absolute maximum position in the attacking midfield we're looking at is his 5th choice. There's just too many bodies ahead of him, and I like McAtee, but based on what we've seen so far, he's not good enough to break through all those players ahead of him, because he's even just like a player. I think Bob's actually younger than him as well. He shouldn't be starting over Bob, in my view, when he comes back from injury, of course. Of course, he's nowhere near the level of Foden or Kevin. So it becomes an issue. If he wants to stay as a squad player, that's lovely. If he doesn't want to, for his own sake, he will have to be sold. in my view. And that's a shame. And that is a shame. Yeah, when Echiro comes in, indeed. As long as Stones doesn't play middle centre-back, I'm happy. Yeah, that'd be Diaz, won't it? That's the thing as well. Like, if you get barely any time to shine, then you better shine quickly. And sadly, he's not really done that. Which is a shame. It's a shame. But it's the sad reality of the situation. Yeah. Maxi will be sold, says KJ. I think that probably will be the case. Oh, right. This has been a very well attended and very well supported stream. Thank you guys so much. We did get over 250 likes, which is wonderful. If you haven't already left a like on the video, please do so now. I'll be back tonight around 15 minutes before kickoff. So please make sure to join me for that if you want an engaging watch-along situation where we can hopefully have a bit of fun and try to dissect the match on the fly. Yeah, do I have anything else to say? I don't know if I do. I don't know if I do. I'll have plenty to say tonight, I'm sure. Depending on how the match goes, we might do a post-mortem. Probably not. Probably won't do a post-mortem. But we might do. We might do. So, potentially stay tuned for that also. Failing that, I'm sure LB will do a show, so make sure to go attend that. What other shows am I doing this week? I'll be live on Twitch on Thursday evening, so make sure to follow the Twitch if you haven't already done so. I'll be live on Wednesday evening. I will be on the We Are the South stand with Big Steve, Daps, Martin, and Tone. I think that's at 8 o'clock, I believe. Different time. Normally it would be tonight, but obviously City playing Real Madrid. So I'll be live on We Are the South stand. Any other shows I'm going on? I don't think so. And then this Saturday is Valentine's weekend. Yeah, it's called We Are the South stand Miami. I think it's hosted by Big Steve and Daps. They're like the main hosts, and I go on a show with them every Tuesday evening. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, go subscribe. It's a very fun time. Yeah, just thinking, are there any other shows I'm going on? Yeah, it's Valentine's this weekend, so and the game's at the Etihad anyway. So I'm going out Saturday evening, so probably won't be any videos on the Saturday. I'll see what happens on the Sunday, and then the week after, LNobbins as usual and whatnot. Have a lovely rest of your day. I'll see you tonight for our date with Destiny. Until then, Thursday or Tuesday. Tuesday is We Are the South stand usually. Thursday is Twitch. Walter, go follow the Twitch if you haven't already done so. If you want more Nobbins in your life, if you want more Nob in your life, listen to the Nobbot. Shout out to all of my beautiful man, I keep forgetting to press this button until it's too late. I should have pressed it ages ago. Shout out to all my beautiful members. If you guys want to help support the channel, get shout outs in my YouTube videos and at the end of streams, click the join button, click the link in the video description, and you can do that for as little as £3 a month. Brad asks, what are your thoughts on City's league possibility? Just get top 5 and we'll be happy. Get Champions League football and I'll be a happy lad. That's all we really need to do. Doesn't really matter where it is in that top 5 as long as it's somewhere there. Rick has just followed the Twitch. Big up to you, Rick. Rick Deckard. Great name. Deketelair. Fantastic name. Just follow the Twitch. Thank you so much. Go do what these people have done and go follow. Again, there's more content. It's not quite football related over there. It's more gaming and chilled stuff. A name I'm not even going to try to begin to pronounce. Thank you so much. Follow the Twitch. A top 5 should be enough nowadays because of the coefficients. That's the stream. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'll see you tonight for the watch along. And HDS96 on the Twitch. Big up. See you tonight for the watch along. I say 50 minutes before kickoff. I'll see you guys there. Make sure to join me. Goodbye.